Good evening. I am Jericho Alpi Montes, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, 3rd year college in Holy Cross College, Santa Ana, Pampanga. So for today's video, about this research, a systematic review on distributed database system and the techniques in advanced database systems subject. So here the report contents. A. Who has or have done the work? B. What were the goals and objectives? C. What were the research questions, if any? D. What were the methods in terms of, but not limited to? 1. How have they gathered relevant data? Who are the participants? Who are the data gathering setup? What are the tools or requirements used in data gathering? 2. How do they form the data set? How do they clean data? 3. How do they process the data? E. What were their findings? F. What were the gaps in the studies or findings? And G. What are your takeaways on this paper? Who have done the work? Katembo Kituta Ezekiel. He is a doctor in philosophy scholar, Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Sharda University in Greater Noida, India. Shrikant. He is a professor, Research and Technology Development Center in Sharda University in Greater Noida, India. Rishi Agarwal. He is a associate professor, Department of Computer Applications, JIMS Engineering Department Technical Campus, Greater Noida, India. What were the goals or objectives? Performing database replication over a peer-to-peer or P2P network. Some problems occurs. Frequently updates made by refresh transactions from different peers reach a destination peer at the same time and are performed concurrently. Moreover, different peers perform multiple updates to the same replica. These two problems break the assurance of the proper execution of transactions, proposing an effective algorithm to serialize refresh transactions performed simultaneously on different replicas and to reconcile this data in the replicated database environment to a decentralized P2P architecture is the aim of this research. Lazy replication approach to the token ring network topology has been combined to create a circulating token P2P topology. The object-oriented approach has been to design a circulating token algorithm for transactions, serialization, and data reconciliation. What were their methods in terms of, but not limited to? 1. How have they gathered relevant data? Who are their participants? How is the data gathering set up? What are the tools and techniques used in data gathering? Number 2. How they form the data sets? How they clean the data? And last, how do they process the data? How have they gathered relevant data? Who are the participants? None. How is the data gathering set up? The researchers involved various research studies and articles that utilize techniques of distributed database and improve the existing database systems. How have they gathered relevant data? What are the tools requirements used in data gathering? The tools requirements used in data gathering is set logically network computer database management different sites and appearing to the user as a single database. How do they clean data? They form the data set by gathering related studies and articles that will aid them in developing the research paper. How do they process the data? They process the data through data fragmentation, involves joint optimization problem since when a query has to combine more than one fragment stored on different sites. This produces the high time response. Heuristic approach have been examined to solve this problem as it is known as a NP-high problem. Data allocation is also another particular problem which involves the finding optimal distribution of fragments to sites. This has already been proved to be NP-complete problem. The review of some heuristic methods as solution has been conducted. Finally, data replication with its famous synchronization algorithm, which is the unique strategy to manage exchange of data between databases in DDBS, has been studied. What are their findings? Not long ago, various organizations were using centralized database systems or CDBS for daily transactions in different domains such as banking, commerce, booking, etc. Even today, there are those that work under this approach. However, we can observe some issues related to the complexity maintenance, performance, and cost of data communication in a centralized database system during query processing, depending on end-user demand from different sites. So, since a certain time, some of them are motivated to implement efficient distributed database systems or decentralized database systems in their administrative environments for scalability. What were the gaps in the studies or findings? Complex implementation. A distributed database presents a certain complexity in its installation as well as its maintenance, less complicated tasks in a centralized architecture. Data security. The multiplicity of access points or remote sites with access to data does not guarantee their security. Data integrity. Given that access to data is no longer restricted to the unique users of a site, their corruption is likely. In order to be able to achieve data efficiency in distributed database systems, one has to carefully place the data. Again, to make distributed database system efficient, we have to reduce significantly the interaction between the sites. The purpose of this paper is to review previous work, focusing on the published literature between year 2008 to 2017 by highlighting the strengths and weaknesses with the aim of achieving an effective solution to maintain consistency in a homogeneous distributed database architecture and for migration toward peer-to-peer environment. What are your takeaways on this paper? My takeaways on this paper is that we should know on how to improve our database systems, prevent some of errors, knowing the step-by-step process or procedure, especially we must be carefully place the data. So that's all, and thank you for watching.